And so the notion of being able to do something in this lifetime that will have repercussions for all the entire future, that never ends. What's more important than that? And so, to have the aspiration, by way of cultivating shamatha, to make the mind serviceable, cultivating the four measurables and bodhicitta, to actually enter the path, cultivating vipassana, for applications of mindfulness and so on, to make that, to seal, to fortify, to strengthen the bodhicitta so that it cannot fall back. That's where you achieve the first and second stages of the Mahayana path of accumulation. You become a bodhisattva and an irreversible bodhisattva. So again, whatever our age is, and however much background we have in Dharma, that really strikes me as an enormously meaningful motivation. And if we realize it, absolutely fantastic. And if we don't, that aspiration itself connects us to that realization. So it's, remember this term leto, leftover karma? Leftover karma, you remember that one? So if you wanted to become a movie star, and you lived in Hollywood and you're going for one audition after another, after another, after another, and you just never made it and you wound up being a waiter or a waitress in a restaurant, and then you retire. But what you really wanted was to be, a superstar. Then you've got some major leto. That is, if you were a very virtuous person, you were generous, kind, ethical, and so forth, and that was your aspiration. I wanted to be a movie star. I wanted to be the next, George Clooney or whatever. Then that's where your virtue is going to go. Because there's something you aspired for and it just didn't happen. And that will linger, especially if it's a lifelong aspiration. To become, a gold medalist in the Olympics, movie star, etc., etc. If the virtue is there, then there's unfinished business. And so there's some people who have to finish that off before they can really have full-time Dharma practice. Because it was something unfinished. Some people wanted to get married, some people want to have kids. And they either couldn't or they, and so some they really need to get married and have kids. And then with that, on that basis, then they can have a full-time practice. But until they have that, they can't totally devote themselves to Dharma because there's unfinished business. Whether it's having kids or this or that, right? How about this for unfinished business? I devoted my whole life to achieving a path and I didn't quite make it. Wow, that's good unfinished business. Because whatever virtue is there is all going to be channeled to that one thing you wanted more than anything else and you didn't quite achieve it. Boy, you can die with a smile. And that's when you haven't succeeded. Because everything was for that, to reach that path. And then, of course, to proceed on the path, not just kind of sit there and, oh, yippee, I'm on the path. So there's a motivation. But it's definitely a lot of work. You won't achieve that irreversibility without shamatha and without vipassana. You won't get there at all without authentic bodhicitta arising. That won't happen unless you've cultivated your bodhicitta in the rich, mulchy soil of the four immeasurables and the four greats. Let's come back one more and then I'll finish. Just, maybe 2 weeks ago, I've been listening to a number of teachings from His Holiness online. And it was a secular context. I've listened to a number of his teachings recently. So I don't remember which one, but it was a secular context. And he was referring once again to his age, because he's going to be 83 this year. And he said a number of times, I've got several more years of, really active, enough vitality and so forth, and then I'm going to really have to slow down and kind of withdraw from active life. So he said it a number of times. Looks like he means it. But then I heard him say, I never heard him say this before, in this secular context, he said, in terms of future, if there's a heaven, I'll go there. If not, I'll come back and try to be of much service here as I can. Well, tongue in cheek, I can answer the first question, Your Holiness. Yeah, do Pure Lands exist? Yeah. I mean, he knows that. But he's speaking to a secular audience, so he's just going out of his way to not appear, like I know. But he does know. And Sukhavati, yeah, do you think His Holiness knows about that? And so Sukhavati is the Pure Land for the proletariat. If you look at the book, The Spacious Path to Freedom, you'll find that there are quite a number of Pure Lands, and some of them have very high entry fee, like Arya Bodhisattva, and so forth. Akanishta, very high, Arya Bodhisattva, and others, and so forth and so on. But you know, when it comes to Sukhavati, that's the Pure Land for the spiritual proletariat. And it's not just, have faith and you'll be born there, but it does entail having faith, aspiration, ethics, cultivating bodhicitta, doing your very best to apply your life to Dharma. Should I do that again? Having aspiration, making prayers to be born in Sukhavati. If you don't have any interest, you won't be born there. Nobody's going to push you there. So the aspiration, the faith, the prayers, one. Ethics, there's nothing to supplant ethics. Ethics, crucial. Cultivating bodhicitta, as much as you can. Cultivate. Right? Apply yourself to Dharma. If those are there, that's enough. So this is for the proletariat. This is for ordinary people, really ordinary people, like myself. I think that's true. For myself, it's true. I have all of those. And I haven't committed any of the 5 deeds of immediate retribution. Haven't killed my mother, my father, and so forth. So I'm cool there. I'm good. And so, from the words of Padmasambhava, Machi Lapyudharma, many of the other greatest beings in the whole history of Mahayana Buddhism, there's just no reason why we can't achieve that if we have cultivated that basis. So in terms of motivation, that's bottom line. I wouldn't aspire for anything less. Right? Because if you want to Sukhavati, then no worries. You can go from there, you can stay there, or you can go from there. Then you can go to other Pure Lands, Shambhala, and so forth and so on. So then you're set. That's practical. We shouldn't have any doubt. In this lifetime, can we reach the path? Possible. No guarantee. Achieve enlightenment in one lifetime? Definitely difficult. But no guarantee we couldn't. But when it comes to Sukhavati, no reason. No reason not to. There's nothing there that's beyond our grasp. Whatever our age, how much intelligence we have, knowledge we have, understanding we have, there's nothing there that says, oh no, you're not up to it. Because it's coming primarily by the prayers, the blessings of the Buddha Amitabha.